Welcome back, Star Wars fans, to episode 76 of Ronald's Reviews, and on today's episode, more pickups from the Alistair Vintage Toy Haul. Cue the march. Welcome back, everyone. Now, like I said in the intro, today we're going to take a look at a few more pieces that I picked up from the Vintage Toy Haul from Alistair. Now, Alistair's a friend of mine. You may recall, if you follow the channel, a few months ago now, Alistair went to his parents' house and cleared out all his vintage childhood toys. It was very good then to come round and ask me if I was interested in anything. Of course I was, and I picked up quite a few items. If you watched the video, you'll recall at the end I did show a few bits, certainly nowhere near everything. So over the coming weeks and months, I'm going to show a few more bits each time, but we're going to take a look at a few more bits today as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so let's start with Transformers, and probably my favourite Decepticon, Soundwave. Now, you will notice when I get him a bit closer that this guy has been played with. Now, most of the things that Alistair brought, the G.I. Joes and Star Wars figures, a lot of them really looked like they didn't have a lot of play wear. They were in fantastic condition, but this guy has had a hard life. But who can blame you? I mean, if you have a G1 Soundwave, you play with this guy.
Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.
His limbs are loose. When he stands, he tends to want to lean forward. Look, as you can see, standing straight, he generally drops forward. But I don't mind. At the end of the day, this is a G1 Soundwave, and he is amazing. So he's got his shoulder cannon there. I have got his hand cannon. Now that should have a projectile in it. I do have it, but I was struggling to find it, so I thought we'd just do the video without it. But this guy is awesome. Now, you'll remember, if you're familiar with Transformers, you'll know that he turns into a cassette recorder. He does sort of sends and receives signals for the Decepticons, almost like surveillance.
Thundercracker to Soundwave, Thundercracker to Soundwave. Proceed, Thundercracker.
And you'll know that he came with various cassettes in his chest. Now, I think there are half a dozen cassettes. I always forget all the names, but my favourites were always Laserbeak, Rumble, and Ravage. There was Buzzsaw. I always forget the other couple. They will come to me.
Rumble Frenzy, Ravage, Rat-Bat, Eject, Operation Interference.
But Ravage was probably my favourite, and as you can see, there is a cassette in his chest. Now, like I say, this guy's had a busy life, and his ejector is a little bit temperamental, so let's see if we can get Ravage out of his chest. Is it going to pop off? Let's just see if it'll do it. There we go. And here is Ravage. So let's just give a go at transforming this guy. So the bottom comes out. And just get this on camera. So the bottom comes out. As you can probably see already, that it is taking shape. So there should push forward like that. That comes out. The head comes back over. And there you have Ravage. I don't think he'll stand. I'll try and stand him. He's very, very thin. I don't think he'll stand. Let's see if we can get him to stand. I don't think we can. Can we get him to stand? Nearly. Can we do it? Come on. Oh, there we go. So there's Ravage. But yeah, I loved Soundwave. Just probably the coolest Transformer. I mean, obviously everyone have their favourites, but this guy, the fact that he could turn into that cassette recorder, you know, he's even got the record and play stop buttons there. I mean, his decals are in fantastic shape, but you can see all his joints are very loose. You can see he's had a hard life. What year has he got on there? Can we see that? There we go. Takara Tomy. Fantastic. Absolutely love this guy. So this is another Transformer that I got from Alistair. I did get a couple others as well. Now, I think in a previous video, originally when I showed you a few things I picked up, I showed you Scourge, G1 Thrust and G1 Skywarp. Since then, I have acquired another one from Alistair, so let's go take a look. Okay, so I also managed to pick up from Alistair a G1 Cyclonus. Now, Cyclonus was introduced in the 1986 animated movie. He was sort of one of the next lines. He was introduced as one of the new Seeker jets as well as Scourge. And this was one of the new characters when a lot of people were upset because they were getting rid of the original lineup, if you like. People like Prime, Megatron, Starscream. And this guy was one of Galvatron's minions, if you like.
Cyclonus, the warrior, and his armada.
But I absolutely love him. Let's take a closer look. Now, this guy has certainly not been played with, and if he has, he's really held up well. His decals are absolutely untouched. All his limbs are nice and tight. In fact, they're so tight to the point that when I was transforming him from his jet into the robot, I kind of felt I was going to break him because the joints were so tight while I was adjusting them. It kind of felt like they were going to snap. But he's in amazing condition. Look at that guy. So yeah, like I say, he was introduced in '86 with the movie. He was one of Galvatron's new minions. I'm tempted to try and transform him on video, but like I said, his joints are extremely tight, and I did need to sort of get relatively forceful with some of it to transform, and I was a little bit worried that I was going to break him. There we go. Look, can we just see that on there? Takara, Hasbro. Does that say 85 or 86? Does it? It does say 86. I think it looks like 85 on the camera. It does actually say 86. Japan. But yeah. So I've now got... So I do need Galvatron. I've got Cyclonus. I've got Scourge. I'm going to have to pick myself up a Galvatron. Now, I did have Galvatron as a child. I loved Galvatron. I remember thinking he didn't massively resemble the cartoon version. But I think back in the day, a lot of them did they? I mean, obviously they tried to represent them as well as possible, but because the Transformer toys were often very straight-legged and very, even though they did have articulation, they were very just a bit like Cyclonus, very straight up and down stance. Yeah, but I absolutely love these guys. So yeah, so the Transformers I picked up that you haven't seen from Alistair was G1 Soundwave and this guy, G1 Cyclonus. However, I also picked up a lot more Star Wars than you saw. So let's go take a look at a few more Star Wars bits that I picked up as well. Okay, so here we go. Now, I did show this case on a previous video. Now, this is just a case from B&Q, but I've bought a second one just because it fits the 3.75 Star Wars figures perfectly. And I bought this case specifically for the figures I got from Alistair because I got quite a lot and needed another case purely for those figures. So there's a couple of my own Biker Scouts in there, but the rest are what I've picked up from Alistair. So let's just take a quick look. Now, I think I showed you, they're in little plastic bags, just to keep them protected, but I did show you, I think, Luke Bespin in the previous video. He's in great shape. But I've got quite a few, as you can see in the top there. I've got a Luke Farmboy, Stormtroopers, Jedi Luke, but really the reason why I'm showing you this case is because there was two things when Alistair turned up that I remember noticing. Now, there was one bag full of original weapons and accessories, so I got things like the attack driver gun. There was even things like, I don't know if you can see that, but the training arm and the training ball is in there as well, which will go lovely with my Falcon, so I'm nearly finished with that now. That is nearly restored. I will do a video on that when it's done. I Got dozens and dozens of the backpacks for the Hoth Rebel soldiers. So I've got plenty of those. Things like a complete Y-wing bomb, not cheap. All sorts of stuff. So we got things like Rancor Keeper's hat, or headgear. Even though it's split, we've got an original Tusken Raider cape, Bib Fortuna staff, but there were so many original weapons and accessories. But then rattling around at the bottom, right at the bottom of the bag, I found this. We have got a Man-A-Man's Headhunter staff. So as and when I get an Man-A-Man, I've already got his staff, which you'll know yourself, just for an original staff you are looking easily around £80 to £100 just for the staff alone. So I was so pleased to see that rattling around at the bottom of the accessories and weapons bag. However, that wasn't the only surprise. So there was another bag of accessories. So we got things like, now I didn't check these properly, I just saw them, a bag, and I said to Alice, so I'll just take those bags. I knew what was in them, but I've not looked at them in detail. So we've got a prune face cape. We've got an original skirt for Squidhead. We have got a Jedi Luke cape. But again, right at the bottom, I then found a Last 17 battle poncho for Endor Luke. And I also found another Luke Jedi cape. However, upon closer inspection, look at what I found. You open it up, look at that. So this is a Luke Jedi snap cape, which again, not easy to find, and if you do find them, they're usually a pretty penny.
I don't believe it.
So very, very pleased to find that. So yeah, very, very lucky.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
So thank you again, Alistair. And there we have it, everyone. So just a few more pickups from the vintage toy haul I got from Alistair. You'll remember quite a few weeks ago now. There is plenty more as well, so I will show a few more as the weeks goes on, but that's just a few more pickups that you won't have seen from the haul. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and giving me a shot. I hope you'll consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you're an existing subscriber, an existing viewer, thank you for sticking with me. You know I appreciate all of you. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. You know the drill by now. I read everyone's comments and reply to everybody. And as always, keep collecting. I'll see you next time.